a driver of a Cybertruck wound up killing 3 people, including himself, I believe, in a crash in the Bay Area. Check it out.
We are tracking breaking news in the East Bay. A deadly crash has happened in Piedmont early this morning at Hampton Road and King Avenue. That's where ABC 7 News reporter Gloria Rodriguez is right now. Gloria, what's the latest?
Well, you know, the portion of the road where this happened is blocked off, and police are here investigating. The coroner's office is also here, and we are learning more about what happened. We also have some video to show you. There were 4 people that were in a Tesla Cybertruck, which burst into flames. Piedmont Police Captain Chris Monahan tells me that 3 people died and 1 person was injured in this crash. The person injured is in the hospital right now after crews pulled them from the truck. It all happened around 3 o'clock this morning, and the truck called 911 after the collision. A resident also called, and officers found the truck in flames. Now, it's not clear how fast the truck was going, and the cause of the crash is still not known.
I'm not going to speculate on what I think happened. At this point, we don't know, but the vehicle jumped the curb, struck a cement wall, and then wedged in between the wall and a tree.
And this type of accident is rare in this quiet, upscale residential neighborhood. We still don't know the relationship of everyone in the truck, and we're still working on getting more information about the crash. We're also told a tow truck is expected to be here soon to pull that truck out. Live in Piedmont, Gloria Rodriguez.
So one of the things that I've been able to experience with my truck, because first of all, this is 3 o'clock in the morning. So if I had to guess, all right, if I had to give my most educated guess, at 3 o'clock in the morning, which is one of the reasons that I started Fight Club earlier a couple years ago, then I would say that it's probably a little bit of drunk driving and probably a little bit of reckless driving, okay? The second thing is, one of the most incredible features and why I think that this truck and Tesla in general is incredibly futuristic is that their ability, the most recent update, I just updated my truck day before yesterday, is the ability for the truck to drive itself with full supervised driving. So full supervised driving, for those of y'all that's not familiar, because I like both. I like both internal combustion engine vehicles, traditional American vehicles. I like some foreign vehicles, and I also like the technologically advanced. So I like them all, right? And full self-driving supervised, because they haven't released the unsupervised version yet, but full self-driving supervised FSD. Basically, you program where you want to go, and you don't even do anything except pay attention to the road. It has cameras inside of the car that forces you to pay attention to the road. Otherwise, it will completely disable itself, and then you got to take back control of the vehicle. And it lets you know it's an incredible feature. I mean, honestly, one of the reasons why I like the truck so much, one of the reasons why I love the truck so much is FSD. When I'm leaving here and I decide that I want to go back downtown or I got to go down to the office, I put in the address and I be taking care of business, honestly. The majority of what I be doing is taking care of business. Because the truck is so big and the center console is so big, I could be taking care of business on my laptop. I just completely let the truck control itself. And it's one of the most incredible things that I've ever experienced in my life. It adds so much more time and value in my life for it to have full self-driving. I mean, the thing is crazy. And it's hard to believe that we're living this far into the future, considering all of the technology that's inside of that truck. But it's an awesome feature. And you do have to, I mean, you completely remove yourself and it drives itself completely. But yeah, man, it's an incredible feature. But when you see stuff like this happens, this is probably, and I'm not speculating, but I'm just going to give my best educated guess, probably drunk driving or reckless driving. It's at 3 o'clock in the morning. It's stupid. It's unfortunate. And it's crazy. So that's what's happening over there in the Bay Area. In other news, there was a man here in Metro Detroit, not Detroit exactly, but outside of Detroit and the surrounding areas, that basically was trying to do a human trafficking thing, and a woman called 911, and then they had to go and arrest him, and now he's facing a $3 million bail. Check it out.
A chilling 911 call. I was put into a sex trafficking situation.
The victim's voice altered to protect her identity. The call coming from the front desk at Sonesta Suites in Southfield late Thursday night, the hotel located near Losser and Northwestern Highway.
I'm just terrified. I'm beyond terrified.
This is police body cam video of officers arresting the suspected sex trafficker. His 4-year-old son in a nearby room with a female caretaker who investigators believe may also be a victim.
I'm going to jail, right? Yes. For what? What's my charge, bro? Turn around, put your hands together. I put my jacket on, man. Yes, I gotta go through it. All right.
41-year-old Prenentez Mac Orr charged with human trafficking, being held on a $3 million bond. A message from Southfield's police chief.
The city of Southfield pays attention to what goes on in our area. Don't rent your rooms in our city. Let this $3 million bond and these significant charges serve as a warning for conducting these operations in our city.
Orr allegedly met the 32-year-old victim who was homeless at the time in Georgia, where the sex trafficking began, eventually bringing her to Michigan.
The victim stated that the suspect deprived her of food and only allowed her to drink coffee and sea moss, which is described as being used for weight loss.
Forced to perform multiple sex acts with clients on a daily basis, investigators say Orr had complete control over the victim.
The suspect took possession of the victim's identification, cell phone, credit cards, and prohibited her from speaking to anyone.
Telling her he was a gang member or has a criminal record that dates back 25 years. However, police did not find any weapons when they arrested him. And as far as how the victim was able to escape,
she intentionally left the chargers for the phones in the car, knowing that at some point he wouldn't want to go out and get them.
Crazy. Absolutely insane. Listen, y'all trying to hold people against their will is demonic. Pimping is absolutely dead. And using women and using people in order to generate revenue by leveraging their bodies and holding them against their will is absolutely one of the most evil things that I've seen, because using humans to do dirty work like that and profiting off of it, we don't rock with it. So shout out to the city of Southfield. I actually really like Southfield, a suburb just outside of Metro Detroit in Oakland County. Shout out to the police officers over there doing great work. We love you over there. And thank you for rescuing this woman. And then last but not least, AI cameras have been deployed inside of buses in New York City to generate revenue and to also issue tickets. However, a lot of people are getting caught in the crosshairs, and they're actually legally abiding citizens that didn't do anything wrong. Check it out.
A new network of artificial intelligence cameras is on the case, catching New York City motorists who block bus lanes.
And let me also say this, too, before we get into this last story and quick hits. We hold the traffickers accountable, right? But for those people that engage and participate in this act, the Johns, I think that y'all are just as despicable. Because not only are you propping up an economy that shouldn't exist in the first place, and I know a lot of people, this is a really tough subject, and maybe this is something that we need to tackle on After Hours, but I just never, ever in my life understood going and getting with either a prostitute or somebody that is under duress, that don't know you, don't like you, never met you, and is willing to exchange, or you pay them and then they give the money to some man who has gotten them there and holding them against their will in order for you to get your junk off. I never understood it, and I know that it's there are a lot of people that are willing to spend money on nasty box that everybody else can hit, but I've never understood it in my life. I never understood it in my life. I don't get it. I don't even get even women that is doing it on their own will, because this is thing on TikTok called 304 Talk, right? Shouldn't even be telling y'all this. But people send me these videos all the time, and it's this thing on TikTok called 304 Talk, where women are basically using TikTok to promote themselves so that they could sell themselves and be able to exchange their body for money. Now, there's a debate. You know what? Let's make this a conversation on After Hours tonight. Let me write this down. Let me put this in my note. There's a debate that it's the oldest economy and people should be able to sell their bodies and do what they want to do for it. Okay, we'll have that conversation. But me personally, I don't get it. It is very interesting to me. It is very weird to me. And I'm trying to figure it out. But anyways, neither here nor there. Let's get back to the story.
But an I-team investigation finds that some of those cameras are also catching drivers who are doing absolutely nothing wrong. News 4's Chris Glorioso found hundreds of instances where these AI systems have captured video of legal parking, but called it a violation.
Blink and you might miss them. On the windshields of hundreds of MTA buses, mounted cameras are now searching for vehicles blocking the bus lane. The cameras are powered by artificial intelligence, but driver George Hahn says the AI system isn't smart enough.
This is a normal spot, and it's actually right by the regular alternate side parking sign.
Hahn says last month he got 3 violations on the same day for blocking bus lanes on East 79th Street. But in each case, the videos captured by the bus cameras themselves show he was legally parked right here along with all these other cars.
Well, at first, I wasn't worried because I know the parking rules and these are legal spots. The tickets kept coming, though, so we're up to about 10 now.
Now, a vehicle illegally parked here in the red bus lane is supposed to get a ticket. But here's the problem. That bus lane ends right about here, and these vehicles are parked in legal alternate side spots. And many of the drivers say they're still getting tickets.
They could clearly see on the picture that I'm literally before the line.
You were legal.
I was legally parked.
Jonathan Coogee gave us his violation notice, and it also shows his car was not parked in the bus lane. And the I-team has learned hundreds of other drivers have been served similar mistakes. We showed these images to the MTA, and the transit agency confirmed buses on the M79 and BX35 lines have issued nearly 3,000 violations that should have been simple warnings, and more than 800 violations where there was no infraction at all. An MTA spokesperson said all the mistaken violations are being voided and refunded, writing, "In this situation, there were programming kinks, both in the mapping of curb areas and the timing of the warnings themselves, all of which have now been resolved."
It's pretty hot out here, but the people who are blocking our bus lanes, it's about to get hotter.
So, yeah, man, they need to get that together. Technology glitches. I'm not really sure what's going on over in New York,